So today's lesson is that the difference between caution and panic is that panic, more often than not, leads people to think that stupid decisions might actually be good ideas. I was planning to do a video updating what I've learned about the FTC and COPPA and the new YouTube policies and everything and what my thoughts are on that moving forward, but I'm putting that on the back burner and saving it for a later date, not too much later, but I have to move it to a later date because this right here, well, let's just say this needs to be addressed before we collectively wind up making things worse for ourselves. You may or may not have seen this on Twitter, but there's a proposal going around called Dead Upload Day. According to the proposal, no uploads in protest for better COPPA regulations for content creators, viewers, and kids alike, November 26, 2019. Basically, it is calling for all YouTubers to not upload anything on November 26th in protest of all of these new policies which are being viewed as unfair to us. And that is a terrible idea. If people get around to doing it, it's not going to work. In fact, it could have very negative effects. So why do I think this is a bad idea? Because it doesn't seem like a bad idea, right? I mean, there's a whole lot of us who use YouTube, and the revenue that YouTube makes comes from our work most of the time. Whether we get hit with copyright strikes or not, if the videos remain monetized, that money still goes to YouTube for the most part. So if we all refuse to upload anything for one day, that should cause a problem for them, right? Well, under certain circumstances, maybe. But here's the thing. Unless you can convince all of the really big channels, I'm talking channels owned by movie studios, record labels, AAA game developers, all of those kind of channels, unless you can convince them to get in on this as well, then it's pointless. Because they're probably still gonna upload on that day, and people looking for information and updates from them will still go on YouTube, most likely still generate ad revenue, and bring in millions of dollars and millions of views, and no difference will be made. The only real difference will be that smaller channels such as myself and others on the platform, even though we make up the majority, just won't be contributing to the ad revenue on that particular day. I mean, heck, for some channels it won't make a difference because there are certain channels that upload quite infrequently. You go to one of the original posts that you see this on, you'll see a whole bunch of people commenting, well, I haven't uploaded anything in months, so I'm way ahead of you. So, yeah, kind of a pointless endeavor already if you think about it. So best case scenario is that this wouldn't make a lick of difference. It just means that none of us indie content creators upload anything for one day, and then come November 27th, everything just resumes to the way it usually was with us uploading stuff. And no difference is made at all. That is the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is that YouTube looks at what happens on this day, sees how much revenue they make from the big studios and big companies, as opposed to all the revenue that they didn't make from the people who were protesting, and weigh that and think, you know, maybe we don't need those worthless peons after all. That original statement about deleting channels that aren't financially viable just might be vague enough that we could go back and say that was always our intention, couldn't we? And then what do we do? Now, I don't want to come across as if I'm trying to quell panic with more panic. The worst case scenario is possible, but I think the best case scenario of there being no difference at all is far more likely. Even so, though, the fact that there could be a worst case scenario, that there could be that kind of adverse side effect, is something that I don't think the person who came up with this really thought about. And so, that's why I'm putting this out there. I don't think this is a good idea. Look, the COPPA guidelines do need to be revised and updated. YouTube's guidelines are unfair in their current state. But this is not the way to draw attention to that. This is either not going to make a difference at all, or it's going to backfire spectacularly, and we're the ones who will get hit by the shrapnel. So, dead upload day, bad idea. I'm not going to participate. I may upload something completely pointless on November 26th just to make sure it's clear that I'm not participating. I don't know. But I do think this is not the way to get the point across. And I'm doing my part to try and nip this in the bud. There's got to be another way. There are other ways, in fact. There are petitions you can sign to get in touch with the FTC and say, these policies need to be updated. You can get in touch with YouTube and say, your policies are unfair. There are other ways to do it. And I suggest that you remain level-headed about it. Doing stuff like this won't help. Of course, I ultimately can't control what you guys do. You think this is a good idea and you refuse to upload anything on November 26th? Alright, go ahead. I can't force you to upload anything. All I can do is pray that nothing bad comes of it. I'm just giving you my advice. I'm giving you my take on this. I think dead upload day isn't going to work unless we somehow manage to get every single channel on YouTube, including the huge Disney Corporation kind of channels, on our side and thinking that yes, this is a good idea, we are going to join you, which I know isn't going to happen, by the way, then nothing's going to come of it. Next time I'll be once again addressing the FTC, COPPA, YouTube's policies, and what I've been able to do by sifting through the fear and paranoia and getting to the truth. Until then, I just wanted to address this and make it clear what I think of it. I've said my 2 cents, and that's basically all I can say at this point.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, as well as subscribe to the channel for more content of a similar nature. Also, check the description for links to our Twitter, DeviantArt, and Patreon pages, as well as the Amazon link for the novel Operation Red Dragon: The Daikaiju Wars Part 1, penned by yours truly. Thank you all, and we appreciate your support.